guys, today is Thursday. I hope everyone's day is off to an amazing start. Thanks so much for stopping in today, guys. Like I said, today is Thursday. You guys will have to drop down, leave a comment. Let me know how the weather has been in your area since we entered into fall. Well, we're only just a few weeks into fall, but what I can say, the weather is noticeably different here in Atlanta. Of course, it is cooler. If you have a back porch, a back deck like we do, it is now covered in acorns. There's a tree here in the backyard. I think I've had conversations down in the comments with my girl Cynthia. We've talked about this tree in our backyard that no matter what the season, it has something it wants to rain down upon the deck. And so now that it is fall, the deck is covered in acorns, and there are huge acorns. The way that they thunder down, the other night I looked out the window, it was raining, but I said to Eric, I said, it must be hail. It must be some type of hailstorm going on, because whatever is falling on the deck is extremely loud. I come downstairs, open the door, to see if it was hail. It's acorns. The things are huge. But anyway, let me know how the weather has been for you guys. Like I said, since we have entered into fall, today the weather is a bit overcast. You guys may be able to tell it's a little bit darker here in the house. Not a fan of it, but what can you do? Every season has its ebbs and flows. That's why I'm a spring summer girl. But anyway, let me know how you are enjoying fall. But for today's video, I digress. We are going to be going around the house, guys, and kind of taking a look back at where we started. If you are watching this video, if you have been here for the last, 6 months or so, you will recall that we had a major flood here in our house. If you are new, about 4 or 5 months ago, the pipe burst in my son's bathroom, and it rained down to all 3 floors of the house were affected. And so I want to take a quick look back at some of the rooms here in this video, just a few in this video, and in subsequent videos, we'll probably take a look at some of the other ones. But I want to do like a before, meaning during the flood and right after the flood, and an after, meaning right now. How has the house changed? What were the updates, and are we happy with the updates? And so, yeah, we're just gonna move about the house. Ooh, what I will say too is, please stay tuned until the end of the video. I have something exciting and new that I want to share with you all that involves us as a community. It has nothing to do with the house. But yeah, so just stick around for that. But anyway, without further ado, I feel like I have been chattering on now for way too long. Let's go ahead and hop into today's video. And I think I want to start upstairs where the flood actually started, which would be my son's bathroom. And then I'll share his bedroom, and Chase actually has a little office up there. So we'll take a look at that first. The whole room. What the hell? So that was the before. That was the before. Like I said, the flood actually started up here on Chase's side of the house. And so let's take a look now at where we are. This room, I have to attribute it to Eric. This is all Eric's doing. Chase has always had an office. He's not here right now. He's actually away at his apartment for school, but he does come home from time to time, of course. And so while he was away, after the guys, Serve Pro, the construction team, put everything back together, Eric took it upon himself to make a few changes. So I have to attribute this room. I got to give Eric credit for this room. He did all of the decor for this space. So he's affectionately calling this room, his office, the Paris room. We've actually been to Paris. We've climbed the Eiffel Tower. And so, Eric thought it would be kind of befitting to use some of the artwork that we had here in the house. I actually had used some of these photos, these pictures in my pantry a couple of years ago, never got rid of them. And so when the flood happened, we took that as an opportunity to declutter. And so Eric said, instead of throwing the artwork and everything out, he was going to turn Chase's office into the Paris room. Chase will actually be moving back home next semester. So he thought this would be a great opportunity to provide for Chase just a really nice space as he, continues his studies. So this is the room, guys. I think what I'll do is kind of walk around and share with you all some of the new items. Of course, this entire wall, we can call it a gallery wall here, is new in that these things were not here before. Let's start with some of the changes and new additions, if you will. What I want to say, Eric is just the best at repurposing decor, furniture, things that I no longer want. So instead of going out and buying new things before, he takes it to Goodwill or donates it to some other organization. He tries to find a place for it here in the house. So we'll take a look here at this sofa, right? This sectional was actually down in the basement. It did receive a little damage during the flood. And what we did, we had the sofa cleaned, or Eric had the sofa cleaned. These are really good sofas. These sofas, Eric and I have had, oh my gosh, let me see, at least 12 years. At least 12 years. We purchased them from Macy's, I think it was. And they have held up beautifully. It kind of broke my heart when they were oh my gosh, just drywall was just laying on top of them. Wet drywall had just fallen all on top of them when the ceiling in the basement kind of collapsed. So we had them cleaned, and Eric said, I have the perfect space for them. We have two of these. So one of them is here in Chase's office. I often come in here since Eric has finished the space and just lounge myself. It is just the perfect little, I feel, loungy getaway here in the house. I mean, I wish I had an office like this when I was growing up. I wish I had an office when I was Chase's age growing up. But I just love what Eric has done with this, with the sofa. Chase can be sitting here studying, preparing for a test. If he gets tired, he can come here and just lounge. When he has guests over, this is another space for them if they're trying to get away from, other areas in the house where Eric and I might be. This is just a great loungy type area. I feel, again, just a great use of space on Eric's part. The way that the artwork here on the back wall flanks this sofa, I think he just did a beautiful job with it. All right, so I wanted to kind of move the camera so that you can get a sense of just how comfortable and just amazing I think this sectional is. So again, just perfect, I think, for lounging. It really would have just broken my heart. Now looking at it right now and the way it has been repurposed, it would have broken my heart, I think, if we would have had to, get rid of the sofa. I never envisioned it, being up here. For me, it's always, all right, we'll just get something new. We'll just get something new. I love the attention to detail that Eric has put here in the space. Again, I had nothing to do with this. The pictures are here, just placed on the wall just beautifully. I just think he did an awesome job. Over here is a fireplace. Again, Eric repurposing things. This was actually in our bedroom before we did a reno on our primary bedroom. This fireplace is actually a working fireplace, and Eric thought it would be a good idea not to get rid of the fireplace, but rather to place it here in Chase's office and stack books on it. Chase is an avid reader. He loves to read, and it's really given like a gentleman's library. It does work. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. I hope you guys can see that. Yeah, you can see it. Eric said rather than getting rid of it, we could place this in Chase's office, stack some books on it, and it really looks like a gentleman's library. Chase needs just 3 rooms dedicated to the number of books he has. So Eric has just stacked some books here. There's a picture of Big Ben on top. We've been to London. So everything kind of works with, it just creates a real vibe, right? We don't just have pictures in here of places and things that we haven't experienced. We've actually been to Paris. We've been to London. So I feel that when Chase comes in here, it's very familiar. When he has his friends over, I can kind of hear them here lately kind of talking about the artwork, and they're very impressed, even at the young age that they are. They are young adults, but they seem to be very impressed with the work that Eric has done here in Chase's office. I'm really happy with it. Sounds funny saying that. I'm not sure if I've ever brought you guys in here, but I want to apologize for the lighting. Again, today isn't the best day to film as it's kind of overcast, but I'm hoping that you guys can get a general sense of what I am trying to convey in today's video. But this is Chase's bedroom. Again, another just really loungy type of space. Once again, having to give credit to Eric for doing this side of the house. Again, if you've been here for the last few months, we've really been busy putting the house back together. I couldn't do all the rooms. If I had to do all the rooms solo, just on me, I don't think I'd ever get done. So I was really happy when Eric said that he would go ahead and be responsible for doing the spaces down here on this end of the house. This entire block of house all belongs to Chase. And, Eric knows how Chase thinks. I mean, and I do too, but, Chase being a guy, Eric being a guy, I think Eric really was, I won't say better equipped, but equipped to get the job done in terms of decor. But anyway, welcome to Chase's bedroom. Again, I absolutely love it. So the other room, Eric affectionately coined that as the Paris room, the Paris office. This space right here encompasses Chase's love of animals. I'm going to kind of bring you guys in here and show you around, but there are just so many different animals depicted here in this space. I love the dark, rich colors. You have your mahogany browns, you have your cognacs, you have your deep, rich blacks. All of this kind of goes and is befitting Chase's personality. So again, I think Eric really did a great job. You guys saw the before of his office. You saw I just inserted the before of his bedroom. This place was a disaster. At the time that this all happened, before we moved out, again, if you've been following the story along with us, then you know that for quite a while, we stayed in the house. So I took Chase's then mattress. He has all new bedding now, but his mattress at the time, I took and put it in my closet room, and he was just sleeping on the floor. And so to go from the destruction that was here in this space to sleeping on the floor in my closet room to this right now, he is very, very appreciative. I'm appreciative. for Eric just doing an outstanding job. I mean, I just love it. All right, so I think the lighting is a little bit better in this corner. So we will continue on. So over here on this side of the room, we obviously have Chase's bed. This bed we actually downsized. Prior to the flood, Chase had a king size bed in here. This room is not a tiny room, but it's not the largest room, right? So over here, having the king size bed really ate up a lot of the floor space. We couldn't really move around in here like we're able to do now. So we went from a king size bed to a queen size bed, and everybody loves the new addition of the queen size bed. We're able to move around in here. Where I'm standing right now, prior to the flood, was actually bed. So I'm loving that we can kind of get in here, hang out, and move around. Chase has down here in this area some of his albums. We were able to put the addition of this little unit here in this space, and here he's able to store some of his albums. I think Chase has come back to this earth as, I don't know, a 75-year-old man. He's just an old soul. Some of his records, Chubby Checker, I don't even know who this is, Tranquility Base. The list goes on and on. He just has so many just things I think are kind of in line with just an old soul. He's a really old soul. But anyway, he loves this new space. We love the space. As you can see behind me, just all of the depictions of animals. Eric just really did a great job. Over here, Chase had little artifacts and things like this that we've kind of found while we have, been on some of our family travels. And I just love how Eric kind of dotted them around the room. Here's his record player. He often listens to this. Chase is super tall, because I'm pretty sure some of you are wondering, like, why is the record player sit up so high? Chase is tall. This is nothing for him. But again, just more little artifact type things that, again, Eric was just so meticulously placing. And I want to say it took him, maybe a little less than 2 days to get Chase's office and his bedroom together. As you can see behind me, just more artwork. We have his TV. He has his game system here. Over this way, he called this area Chase's little reading nook. We have more books here. We have this super comfortable chair, guys. This chair is so comfortable. If you love relaxing, if you love lounging, you're gonna love this chair. Yes, guys, we partnered with Watson and Whitley to bring you all this portion of today's video. This genuine leather power recliner is simply amazing. I love the 165-degree lay flat feature. You cannot beat this comfortable adjustable power headrest. I almost feel like I'm in the nail salon. Did I mention it was super easy to clean? I mentioned I know that Chase loves to read, and so there are pockets on the side for him to stick his books, cup holders on the armrest, and guys, if that wasn't enough, there are USB and Type-C charging ports. So check out that description box, guys, and click the link if you are interested in getting your Watson & Whitley genuine leather power recliner. He can sit here, just kind of kick back. He's often pulled it over in front of the TV and just relaxed playing video games. So super comfortable and just really, really happy to have it. I'm not sure if I got a lot of footage of the floor before, but here's the after. This is all new tile. I love it. Just really nice and bright. You guys know for a long time we've been the gray wall family. So that continues here in Chase's bathroom. And so I love how the walls and the floor just really play well together. So loving the tile. I love the placement of the tile, the direction, I should say. We are still looking for the perfect rugs to go here in his bathroom. But up here again, more animals. The bathroom, I just love it. It is so nice and bright. So this is what you call a Jack and Jill. So this bathroom connects through that door right there. and goes into his office. So, you know, he just goes back and forth seamlessly. And here's all of his little young guy stuff. Loving this little tray right here with all of his little things on it. He loves sunglasses like his mom. And again, he's not here right now. He's able to duplicate a lot of his stuff at his apartment. So yes, he had sunglasses here, but they were so super inexpensive. I want to say all 4 of those sunglasses were all total about 40 bucks. So he has sunglasses here. He has sunglasses back at his apartment. He doesn't have to worry about, you know, packing up everything every time he wants to come home. He just leaves stuff there because he knows he has items here. All right. Then if we turn this way, I'm loving, again, just the nature type of photo here. This photo to me looks like there could be some grizzly bears or polar bears or something hiding back there in those pine trees. Here's a look at his bedroom from the bathroom. So just another angle, just a really cozy space, a really cozy space. He has his linen closet here. And then here is his toilet. You guys know the deal with all of the toilets. We have a little painting we still need to do in here. Some touch-ups we have to do because what we did was we removed in all of the bathrooms, we have now glass shower doors. Chase's bathroom had a shower curtain before, and let me see if I turn on the light. Well, if that'll, oh my gosh, that helps so much. So this is a new shower, right? Before this was a shower curtain. So I'm not sure if you guys know this, but if you have a tub such as this, but you want a glass enclosure, you could absolutely do that. So we have all the rooms that had shower curtains switched over to these doors. These doors were, I want to say, $600 at Home Depot. And we just had the guys install these for us, and now we have no more shower curtains. And I just love the look. It just really opens up the space. The bathroom doesn't get all steamy when Chase takes a shower because you don't have those, you know, those shower curtains kind of enclosing the space. So I am really happy that we were able to do this. It's here on this track, just opens up like that. It took the guys maybe about, to do all the showers, about 4 hours all total. And yeah, so we still have the use of the tub. There's another animal photo there. Here we have brand new toilets, and these are like the super tall toilets. Like I said, Chase is super tall. As you can see, we still have the stickers on here. Chase has probably been home 2 or 3 times since we've been back in the house, so the toilet really hasn't been used, but I do need to remove those little stickers off of there. And yeah, like I was saying, it's a super tall toilet. I forget the dimensions on it, but it's really tall. All of the toilets have been replaced here in the house, so that's a really nice upgrade. Really happy we did that. But yeah, so that is Chase's bedroom, bathroom, and office combination. So let's see. I'm gonna get a drink of water because I feel like I've been talking a while, and then we will check out the next space. So down here in the basement, not sure if you guys can tell, but you can hear the water. It is completely soaked down here. Completely soaked down here. The ceiling, as you can see here, is drenched. here in the basement now, and as you guys saw, the basement took a really big hit, and I am just thrilled with where we are with it right now. Full disclosure, there's still a lot we want to do down here in the basement, but I am really, really happy with where we are right now. Really happy. We just recently had a little bit more work done down here, so excuse any dust or debris that you might see down here again. The house is still a little bit of a work in progress. We've absolutely come a long way, but still a little bit of a work in progress, but beyond thrilled with where we are. So right now, like I said, we're down here in the basement, and this is the entryway into the basement. And so changes that we've made down here, things that we did not have down here before. This wall, this mid-century modern wall of paneling, I absolutely love. Eric actually installed this himself. Eric's name keeps coming up in today's video. But just really happy with it. Super easy to put it up. And if you're looking for an alternative to paint or wallpaper, I say give the paneling a try. It comes in so many different shades. This is maple, but it comes in black. I want to say I saw that it came in white. Yeah, those are the ones that I can recall right now. But so yeah, love that. This mirror right here was clean. I'm not sure if it's coming off on camera. It's been a bit smudgy, but like I said, we've had some stuff done down here, so that work has kicked up a little bit of dust. This credenza was down here previously, but I have changed it up just a little bit. It is also still a work in progress. You know how it is when you have like big banquets of space to work with. It's always evolving. So there are some things I want to add here. I want to get a new lamp. I think I could benefit, or the space would benefit from, a huge tall vase right here. Maybe switch some things around. But for right now, it is good. It's good for right now until I can, source some other items. All right, so as we enter into the main part of the basement, we'll stop here just for a second. This is what we're calling like our gallery wall. Before, we did have artwork here in this portion of the basement, but I want to say they were on a smaller scale, and I'm absolutely loving these larger photos. If you are in the market for having your photos kind of blown up, check out Staples. They are perfect for taking photos off of your phone and just blowing them up to the size that you like. I want to say these are a 24 by 36, all of these, and I love them. These are some of the photos that, I don't know, they bring a smile to my face. These are some of my favorite ones. We take so many photos or pictures as a family, so it was really hard to kind of narrow it down. Of course, the hallway, it's a good size, but then it's limited in space, so I couldn't put all of our pictures up here. But I think I chose some really good ones. I love the colors on them. I want to say too, this time around, as we were forced into making changes to the house due to the flood, I decided to experiment with a little bit more color this time. If you, again, have been here on the channel for any amount of time, you know that I'm pretty much a minimalist neutral type of girl when it comes to home decor. So I wanted to experiment with adding more things in the house, not worrying about it looking cluttered, but also experimenting with color. And I love that I was able to do that with some of our photos that showcased some of our travels. All of our lighting down here in the basement is new as well. I love that it gives the basement a little bit more of an up-to-date look. And I love also that we chose fixtures that required a lot of light bulbs. The basement isn't a dark space, but you know, it's the basement. So I love that the light fixtures we chose really, you know, added a lot of light, you know, per light fixtures. Welcome to the main hub of the basement. This is what we like to call the family room area of the basement. Eric and I from time to time will play this game with ourselves. Here recently, we'll just ask one another, okay, what is your favorite room in the house today? Hands down, the space that is always coming up is the basement. We love the basement. Like I said, the basement absolutely took a big hit. It really did. It was just really dark and dank down here for a long time. You know, right as the flood happened, after the flood happened, there were wires. You guys saw it. It was just pretty bad down here. There was no power. And so now to have all of this beautiful lighting, all of this really beautiful furniture, and I've shared this space a little bit with you guys in previous videos. You guys know this sofa is part of a collaboration. This sofa right here, we actually got from Wayfair. I absolutely love this sofa. So super comfortable. As many things as I can, I will link them. I know I have been slow on the links here lately, guys, but oh my gosh, I've been so busy, so very busy. But this one here, this particular sofa here, I absolutely love it. It is from Wayfair, so super comfortable. But I think my favorite part of the basement absolutely has to be the lighting. I love this fixture right here. Sometimes we'll come down here. This will be the only fixture we'll have on it. It really gives a really nice boozy type of vibe to the basement. Then the other one here gives you more of that traditional lighting. But all in all, I just love that the light fixtures, like I stated, have just so many light bulbs. So it's like you don't really feel like you're down in the basement. Other changes that we did down here in the basement, we switched out the bar stools. And of course, I'll take you guys off the tripod and show you around. But if you remember, if you've been here a while, the bar stools that we have down here right now were actually upstairs in the kitchen. And we've had these for years. Several of you have said that you actually have these bar stools. So I didn't want to get rid of them, but I knew I wanted to update the ones in the kitchen a little bit. And so we just brought those down here. Absolutely love them. This is a new rug. I love how it opens up the space again, just really making it super bright. The table, the coffee table that's down here right now, I want to say I shared that a few videos back. We picked that up from Crate & Barrel, I believe it was. It was Crate & Barrel. And the table that was down here before was actually from IKEA. So just kind of elevating the space a little bit. We have new pillows and things like that on the sofa. Those are all from either Home Goods or World Market. Something else we did differently is when it was time to put all of the decor back down here, because remember, everything had to be packed out. Everything had to leave the space so that they could tear it up and then put it back together. So what I did over here at the fireplace was, this isn't new. You guys, if you've been here, you know the fireplace was already here, but the decor that was in the fireplace now is different. So when we go to Orlando, we stay at, here lately, we've been staying at Evermore. Evermore is just oh my gosh, if you love a luxury type of hotel situation when you travel, you are absolutely going to love Evermore. So we stay in this, what do they call it? It's not a condo. Is it a condo? I don't know. It's like a condo. It has 4 bedrooms. So it's a really big space. But when we first went to the unit we stayed in, they had a situation like this. They had shelving, but all the shelving, let me see if I can stand in the middle, was all white. Everything was just all white. And for a little while, I was like, I don't know if I like that. They didn't want to choose some other colors and kind of vary up the decor inside of their built-ins. But as we stayed there, I think we've stayed there at this point like 4 times. It has grown on me. And so that's what I did here. So all of the decor inside of the built-ins right here off of the fireplace, everything is all white and I love it. It's just an interesting area. And the few people that we've had over here since we've put it back together, they notice that little detail. Now here on the sides, I did go ahead and vary up the colors, the textures and things like that. And just giving it some contrast, but that's something different that we did down here. And oh my gosh, I just love it. I'm gonna grab you guys now off of the tripod and kind of walk around and share with you some of the smaller things that I added down here. We still need some artwork over here on the walls. Oh, we actually did some more of that wall paneling over here on this side also. So I'm sitting here on the sofa because I wanted to share with you all some of the things that I've added to the coffee table since I shared it with you last. I love this little tic-tac-toe game. Eric and I sit down here, watch TV, have a few snacks, and we play this a lot here lately. I love that it's this rich maple color. It has the X's and the O's in this really pretty gold tone. So love this. This is a new addition to the table. I shared this book here, this coffee table book with you all before. This is, I almost said Baccarat. This is a Basquiat coffee table book. So many vibrant pages. I just love it. You guys know he just has some really unique art pieces. And so I love having this here. The stand that the book is on, I will have the link for that below if you're looking for, you know, a nice little stand for your coffee table books. This piece right here is kind of like a catch-all. We'll put the remote here, our phone. I'll sometimes drop my Apple Watch in here. I love it. I love the colors in it. Just really pretty, really works well with the space down here. And this is actually from Home Goods. I love these candles. They look almost like sculptures, like really pretty artwork. I love the waviness of them. I found those at Home Goods, and the base that it's sitting in is from Home Goods as well. So really pretty. So I wanted to take a minute to point out the new doors back here. Those doors we had installed because we had so much water damage done to the other doors. We couldn't really save them. And so we decided to go with these doors right here. They let in so much light, guys, and they just really frame this area so well. As you guys can see, it looks right out onto the backyard. So the doors here coupled with this window creates almost like this painting, this really pretty picture out onto the backyard. So really love that. That's another look at the sofa. And I wanted to point out to this island, right? This island, I want to say we have a video on. Eric actually did this, oh my, maybe about 7 years ago. And it was a dresser. It was a dresser, but it was damaged, severely damaged during the flood. As you can see here, we have removed the hardware, and I need to repaint it because I had to fix some areas. Again, it was just heavily damaged. We had to get a new top for it. And this top, guys, is actually from IKEA. This is not real marble or granite. This is, I don't know, some type of faux material that we are going to, as you can see here, I'm lifting it up, that we're going to adhere to the dresser. Let's say you have a smaller kitchen. As you guys can see, This is a smaller little kitchen area that we have down here, so a huge island would not work. So grab you a thrifted piece, a dresser, something that is really well made. The reason I was able to save this one is because this dresser is real furniture. So it was really, it's very well made. We had our contractor add some, I think this is called beadboard here to the back of it, and added like some feet or just some framed out the bottom of it to raise it up off the floor a little bit, really giving it a custom look. So I absolutely love this. And again, just a really quick little DIY. I love the look of it. This over here is actually real. Thank God this wasn't damaged. These cabinets over here were not damaged. So really happy about that. The upper cabinets, we did, after the flood, go ahead and switch out the hardware to the black. They had like a pewter silver finish before. So we switched those, switched out all the hardware here to black, and the hardware that's going to go on the island will be that same hardware. It will be black as well. We have other spaces down here in the basement that we are currently working on. And as we complete those projects, I will be sure to share those with you as well. Guys, so I wanted to interrupt the video here for just 1 second because I have some really fun, some really exciting news to share with you all. So it's funny that in this video, I am sharing with you all the devastation that took place in my life and my family's life over this past summer. And I mean funny, not funny, haha, but like funny, ironic that we are kind of in this video reflecting back and looking back at some of the devastation that took place. And I know some of you are saying that devastation is a strong word, but for me, this is my truth. And I was devastated. My family was devastated. We were gutted. But with that, I am reminded of just how many of you showed up for us, prayed for us, rooted for us to get our home put back together. And here we are. And I'm just so appreciative. As I look back at some of the comments and I regularly do, I'm just like, I don't know, this kind of goes beyond YouTube. It's almost familial. And what do families do? They get together, they hang out, not all the time. Families don't get together all the time and hang out all the time, but sometimes families get together and hang out. With that, I have started a group and I have affectionately named this group Dialogue and Dining. And within the group, guys, we get together from time to time. We gather around the table. We have meaningful conversations. We have silly conversations about life, politics, social events, family. The list just goes on and on. I have always felt a connection with many of you via our conversations here on YouTube in the comment section. You guys know who you are. But after the flood happened here in our home, the way some of you showed up, like I said at the top, you showed up and just the prayers, so many of you sent just private messages. And I said, this goes beyond YouTube. And I just really would like to connect with you all just on a deeper level. In the description box, so how do you sign up? In the description box, there will be a link that will take you to a questionnaire. The questionnaire will be comprised of questions that will give me insight on how many of you are actually here in the Atlanta area. All of our activities will be here in the Atlanta area, at least to start out. And so it'll just give me a general idea of who all is local to the area. Additionally, the locations of our outings will not be discussed here on YouTube or Instagram. Everything that we do will be exclusive to the Dialogue and Dining group. So we won't be sharing all of the goodness that goes on in the group. That'll be just privy to the members. Now, for those of you who are not in the Atlanta area, I do understand there's so many of you who I have a deep connection with who do not live in Atlanta. So for you all, what we will be doing is having a once a month Zoom call. Yes, we'll have a Zoom call once a month. And on those calls, we'll have our little charcuterie boards. So you're not out with us physically, eating and having conversation. We'll do it via Zoom. So we'll have our little charcuterie boards. You can have a dessert charcuterie board, a veggie charcuterie board, the traditional meat and cheese charcuterie boards, and we'll share those with one another. We'll talk about what we're sipping on, and we will delve into, conversations via Zoom. But you'll just, like I said, go click the link in the description box, complete the form, and we'll go from there. What I will say also on those Zoom calls, the Atlanta members will have Zoom calls as well. And because I want this to be hyper organized, we will talk about what the topic for the upcoming meetup will be. Much like if you were to join a book club, right? You know exactly what you're going to talk about because everyone will have hopefully read the book. In doing this, I am wanting everyone to be included in conversations. I do understand that even as adults, everyone isn't going to be on the same level of outgoing, as you will. We do have adults who are a little bit more shy. We do have adults who are a little bit more introverted. And so I feel that if we already have our topic lined up for the next meetup, everyone will be able to contribute. Also, I am hoping to keep this group somewhat intimate, right? I don't want it to be so big that there are those of us who feel like they come to the outing, but they kind of get lost in the sauce. They get overlooked. I don't want that. I want this to be a very intentional, a very thoughtful, a very connected group. So if you are interested, please, like I said, go ahead and fill out that form, and we'll go from there. On the form, I ask for your email address, and that's how all of the communication will be communicated going forward. Some of our outings will, of course, include restaurants, but they're not going to necessarily be limited to restaurants. We're going to do coffee shops. We'll do little bakeries. I want to do museums, things like that. And then as the ladies get to know one another, wouldn't it be awesome if we included our significant others, the spouses? Maybe we could do movie nights one month, or we do like the girls against the guys in terms of bowling. But all of our activities, like I said, will be privy to the group, and I will share, our location. I already have our first location, but what I want to do also within our little group Zoom calls is make sure everyone has a voice. So what I want to do for the subsequent ones is vote on some of the activities that we do around town here in Atlanta. But it's just going to be a group full of goodness, and I'm just really, really looking forward to it. I wish there were more of you who lived here in Atlanta. I know there are some ladies who, like I said, I've connected with here on YouTube, and you guys don't live in Atlanta, and it just pains me that you guys will not be able to meet up in person, but we have our Zoom calls. In closing, as we get back to the video, if you are cool to hang out with some like-minded people, you're interested, open to making some new adult friendships, please go ahead, complete the questionnaire, and I hope to see you guys at our first dialogue and dining meetup. that was the bathroom, the guest bathroom located here on the main level. I should mention that that particular bathroom is located on Chase's wing of the house. It's almost directly underneath his bathroom. So the water just kind of rained down the wall and of course did damage to the walls, obviously the ceiling and the floors. So we're gonna go in there and take a look at the updates that we've made in this particular guest bathroom. I should also mention that this particular guest bathroom, it's kind of like a Jack and Jill too, much similar to Chase's situation upstairs. This bathroom is shared with Eric's office. And so because it's shared with Eric's office, we don't typically, or we don't use it as a real guest bathroom, right? When people stay over, they're not in there showering, taking baths, things like that. This particular bathroom is only used, just to use the toilet and, wash your hands. All right, so as we enter into the guest bathroom, I'll start here with the new additions. The shower doors, absolutely love. So these shower doors are the same shower doors that we have upstairs in Chase's bathroom. And much like Chase's bathroom, I just love how the shower doors, the glass shower doors, just really open up the space. You guys will recall that prior to the flood, I'm not sure if I was able to get that in the before because they probably already taken the shower doors down, the shower curtain down. But we had really tall shower curtains here before. They were really pretty, but I absolutely love the way these glass doors open up this guest bathroom. So those are new. And again, much like Chase's shower doors, they're just here on this track. Just open up, just really nice and smooth. Of course, we still have the use of the tub if we needed to use it. But remember, this particular bathroom, we're just using it for the toilet because it is shared with Eric's office. However, if we did in a pinch have a big crowd of people over staying the night, of course, we could absolutely use this bathroom for the, tub and shower. Brand new toilet. I also mentioned that we have all new toilets in the house. Absolutely love this one. It is super, super tall. Everyone who comes over really comments on just, how nice that toilet is. This artwork here is new as well. Just really serene and tranquil. Gives it almost like a Zen spa-like atmosphere here in the guest bathroom. So really love that. Here on the sink, just really keeping it nice, clean, and simple. So just some simple greenery here. Of course, some room spray. This little gem right here, I found at the West Side Market here in Atlanta. I've mentioned in the previous videos that the West Side Market, we actually have two here in Atlanta. We typically go to the one near the Top Golf location here in Atlanta, but you can really find some nice gems in there. So I found this cute little pot. It's a flower child, and I love her big lips. I love the ornate details around the pot, and I use it just like a wax melt type of situation. And so it smells really good, and I'm able to kind of switch out the wax, the fragrance from time to time. And then over here, again, just keeping the sink really clean and simple. Of course, some hand soap. Instead of using a hand towel, I have these little hand napkins here. I think this is a lot more sanitary than everybody coming in and, drying off their hands using one towel. And you can find these anywhere, Marshall's, Home Goods. They even sell those at Kroger and Publix. So we have some more artwork here. This was already in the bathroom prior to the flood. Just really happy that that did not sustain any damage. All of the paint and everything, obviously new. You guys saw in the before that all of this was just really damaged. The floors are new. We kept the tile consistent. As you can see, this is the same tile that we have upstairs in Chase's bathroom as well. That's this wall right here. Just really, really calm. And like I said, spa-like in here. Just really, really nice. Nice and clean, not a lot of fuss. So guys, I think for our final room of the day, because this is a lot, I'm tired. We're going to end in the kitchen, and I'll come back in another video as we, make more progress on some of the other rooms and share those with you. So yeah, I think we'll end here in the kitchen. The kitchen really did not sustain any damage outside of the flooring, which turned out to be a really big part. Even though the water damage didn't flow all the way over here to the kitchen, because they pulled up the floors, put in new floors, they had to completely sand down the floors in the kitchen. So basically the kitchen floors are new. So they underwent a big change as well. Let me just say this too. What we are finding out right now, and if this has happened to any of you guys, if you have unfortunately had a flood in your home and you had hardwoods like we have, are you finding that they are now more easily scratched, more easily damaged, more easily dinged? I feel like now if we look sideways at one corner of the floor, a scratch happens. We think these floors are a lot softer than the original floors because, like I said, you look at these floors hard and a scratch pops up. We didn't have this issue before. So now what we're doing is walking around with the little markers. Have you guys seen these? Let me see. Hold the line, please. So what we're doing now is running around with these little markers, filling in the scratches. We have this touch-up putty. I haven't used this, but this is the Quick Wood epoxy putty that is supposed to be good for scratches. But this entire little container here is geared towards repairing the scratches in the floors. And like I said, we've never had this issue before. So yeah, let me know if you've had this as an issue. But anyway, we're gonna start over here in the kitchen. So in the kitchen, again, outside of the flooring, there was really no damage. They did have to paint in the kitchen, and it's just the same paint that continues through the house. They painted because they put up a partition when they were working over on this side of the house back there, and it peeled paint off. So they went ahead and painted the whole kitchen. Also, that same partition peeled paint off the ceiling. So they ended up painting the entire ceiling as well. While they were working on top of the cabinets, painting and stuff, they cracked some of the trim on the cabinet, on one of the cabinets. So they fixed that. But outside of that, not a whole lot really was done here. So we'll just kind of take a look at some of the new in items. The first ones being these bar stools, and I have to be careful picking them up because again, everything scratches now. We've put pads down here on the bottom of them. So even still, I just feel like even with the pads on the bottom of the chairs, we still have to be super careful. But yeah, so these bar stools, I want to say that I shared these before. They are actually from Home Goods. I love this shade of like camel beige. It really works well with all of the lighter hues that we have going on here in the house. As I mentioned downstairs, I have been historically more of a beigey gray type of person when it comes to decor. And I'm still on that train with some things, some areas in the house. But as you see back here with this new piece of artwork, I am starting to experiment with a little bit more color. So anyway, these bar stools are new. Those are from Home Goods. I was really happy to find those. And you know, with Home Goods, you'll find 2 things, but you need 4 or 5. And then you have to ride all over town trying to find the other ones. Happily, they had 4 of the bar stools in our local Home Goods. So over here on the island, and I want to say I shared this in the last video, but if I didn't, I added this new vase, Home Goods, added some fall greenery. I love it. This is just 2 stems. The way to get the biggest bang for your buck in terms of your stems, because these things can be expensive, right? We all know Pottery Barn, Crate and Barrel, they have some really great stems, but they can be really expensive. So what I like to do, this is 2 stems, and I just really pulled and tugged at them, you know, to make them look bigger than what they really are. You guys know, again, I'm in my maximalist type of phase, but in the kitchen, I still like to have everything kind of clean and simple to, you know, this is a nice island and I don't want to cover it up with a whole bunch of fluff. And also this is the kitchen. So I want to have areas where I can prepare food and stuff. So I don't do a whole lot in terms of decor for my island. It's fall. So again, the fall picks, I have some apples there. Those are real. But I love when I see, you know, people adding like some of the faux fruit and vegetables, you know, around their kitchen. I know I shared this in the last video. That would be our cafe dishwasher. I love that. You know, our last dishwasher, you know, it's been here a long time and I never had a problem with it until I got this one. And I was like, wow, the difference in my dishes, the cleanliness of them, it's like night and day. Now, listen, we were not eating off of dirty dishes, but the way this thing cleans, you know, it's next level. So really happy to have that. Another new addition is the hood. We added a new hood. I want to say in the last video, maybe a few videos before that we were waiting on some new appliances to come in so that we could kind of round out the kitchen. I never knew how difficult it was to get appliances until I started trying to get appliances, and it's like pulling teeth to get stuff. So took a long time for this to come in, but we're really happy with it. I think it's a really great addition here to the kitchen. I love the play on the tones of white. I think I have a book around here. It's called Shades of White. And that's what we have going on here in the kitchen. My absolute favorite piece that is new here in the kitchen is our cafe refrigerator. Just absolutely love it. There's so much storage in it. And just really happy to have that. I know I've shared that. So now we're just waiting on a new oven, and then all of the appliances here in the kitchen will be up to date. And I want to say that's pretty much it. Over here in the pantry, I shared with you guys in a previous video that it was chaos in here because the hardwoods, as you all can see, extend over into the pantry. So it was just chaos. Everything in here had to be taken out. And so it really caused a lot of chaos here in the pantry in terms of organization. So I think I did a really good job in organizing it. In the video where I shared the pantry, I mentioned to you all that I'd gotten a few comments from some of you stating that we should take out the wire shelving and put in something else. But I said, for us, that's not necessarily something we want to do right now because it would just be replacing shelving with more shelving. And I think the shelving in here is really functional, but I get what you guys are saying. So I shared what I did was add in some baskets to kind of take away the industrial look of the pantry. And I think honestly, it's to toot my own horn. I think it turned out rather nicely. I really love it. At the time that I shared the video, there were no groceries in here, guys. We just went to the grocery store, last week? Last week. We have been eating out and eating out and eating out. I've never been more happy to go to Kroger and Costco in my life. I am just so happy to have groceries in the house. You know, you get to a point where you've eaten out so much, you just don't want to eat out anymore. And so said all that to say, really happy to have some groceries in here. Really happy to have the organization. I shared before in the last video, I shared in the video where I did the pantry that we worked with a company to update our window treatments here in the pantry. So I have a little remote here when it starts to get a little dark outside or I want to close the window. Let me see, can you guys see it? I just push this little button and the windows come down. And then when I want them open, I just let the shades back up and we just keep this little remote right here. So really organized, just loving how everything is coming along. When we were over at the apartment, this is the type of stuff we missed. Just being able to move around from room to room. Yes, the apartment was an absolute blessing, right? To have a soft space to land while they worked on our house. But really, when we were there, we were just limited to, you know, how much we could move about. So having spaces here in the house where we can just freely move about, just go from room to room, it is truly a blessing and we're just happy to have the house back. That is going to do it for today's video. Really appreciate y'all stopping in to hang out with me today. I know today's video was super long, but there was a lot to get to and there's so many updates and I just really want to share the updates with you all, especially those of you who have been along on this journey. You've been really rooting for my family. So I think you deserve to see the updates. And so we have more updates to come. We're still waiting for things to come in. We're still working on, you know, several little projects here in the house. And so as we finish up on those, I will absolutely bring those to you here. Just cannot thank you guys enough for just all of the support. All right. And Eric's on a call. I talk loud, so I'm going to go ahead and tip out of here. Really appreciate y'all stopping in today, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye, guys.